One of the most spectacular open wheel racing series anywhere in the world concludes right here, right now, this weekend, here at the home of the Spanish Formula One Grand Prix. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to round 8 of the 2021 Euroformula Open Championship from the home of the Spanish Formula One Grand Prix. This is, of course, Barcelona. We are getting ready for race 1 in a few moments' time. The championship decider, Cameron Dass, the American, can claim the 2021 championship here this afternoon. We had qualifying this morning. Bolok will make his way up onto the grid, which we will have a look at in its entirety in just a moment. He took pole in qualifying just a few hours ago this morning. A great field of 16 cars on the grid in what has been a bizarre year for everybody as you look at one of two Mexicans in the field. This is Rafa Villagomez in car 8 for Van Amersfoort Racing. He'll start out of grid 10. His teammate Bolok is on pole position. There is Cem to the right of your screen in car 74 for Fritz Van Amersfoort's Dutch racing team. A beautiful afternoon here in Spain. It is autumn time here in the Northern Hemisphere, but the temperature is already past 20 degrees. There is Fritz Van Amersfoort himself, who created the team bearing his own name way back in 1975. As you look at the championship leader, Cameron Dass, who is looking to become the first driver from the United States of America to win the Euroformula Open Championship. And of course, Team Motorpark providing him with a very quick car throughout the entire season. Enzo Trulli, the top rookie in qualifying this morning, starts out of grid 3. The second generation racer, of course, the son of the 2004 Monaco Formula One Grand Prix winner, Nazim Artsman, one of 7 different winners in the 2021 championship for the Crypto Tower racing team. That's the Malaysian. He is also a race winner for 2021. Louis Foster, well, he's second in the championship. He would need to win all 3 races and disaster befall Cameron Dass to take the title. He starts out at grid 5, Jetpack Jack Crawford. The Texan from Houston, the Red Bull Junior, starts out of grid 6. He was quickest in practice yesterday, but not a great run in qualifying. He's 1 place ahead of Josh Mason, who starts out at grid 7, another English driver on the grid for RR Racing. He's a place ahead of the young Australian from Newcastle to the north of Sydney. This is Christian Mansell in car 10 for Team Motorpark. Casper Stevenson, who has already won the rookie championship for 2021. Casper starts out of grid 9. He has won twice outright, let alone the rookie victories in 2021. He is the rookie champion. No one can take that away from him. He starts ahead of his teammate, one of 2 Mexicans in the field. This is Rafa Villagomez. Brad Benavides from Miami, Florida, USA. One of 2 cars for Carlin Racing on the grid. Car 71, not the best run in qualifying for Brad. He was disappointed after being consistently quick in practice. Philip Caminiaz, car 88, on the podium last time out at Monza. Had a brilliant run in the rain, did the pole. Starts out at grid 12, ahead of another Mexican, another debutant. This is Sebastian Alvarez for RR Racing. Francesco Simonazzi for BVM Racing, back for his 2nd ever Formula 3 race. Great to have BVM Racing back on the grid with us in Euroformula Open. Saying to him, the race is long, keep your concentration up. Enzo Shanti, the 2nd Texan, one of 4 Americans in the field, is out of grid 15, and making his debut in the championship is the highly rated Glaswegian. This is the 2017 Junior World Kart Racing Champion, Dexter Patterson from Glasgow in Scotland, in the 78 DriveX car. Last time out, we raced at the Temple of Speed in Monza. Race 1 was on a dry circuit on Saturday afternoon. Richard de Geris running into the back of Louis Foster. It turns out that he was helped and copped some unfair criticism. Cameron Dass taking a victory for race 2, though. It rained, and it rained hard. After multiple laps behind the safety car, we did go green. This was the visibility from the French driver Richard de Geras, next to zero as they raced down the straight in the dry. Casper Stevenson recorded a top speed of 273 kilometres an hour. Philip Cominiaz drove brilliantly, as did the Van Amersfoort Racing Team drivers. Casper Stevenson taking his second victory of 2021. Cominiaz on the podium for the first time in 2021. Mansell was in the grass to the right of your screen. Off the start, visibility was less than zero. Enzo Trulli briefly led down into turn 1. But ultimately the conditions got just too much. The safety car was deployed, and Cameron Dass, critically, he took enough points in the championship. Chamberlain Bashi gave it absolutely everything, but Cameron Dass took another victory to extend his lead in the championship. The championship does look like this. Dass in P1, Foster in second place, Atzman third, and Crawford just 4 points behind the Malaysian in fourth place. Casper in P5 has already won the Rookie Championship for 2021. Race 1 of 3, the 2021 Euroformula Open Championship final. Chambolik Bashi on pole position. Cameron Dass out of 2, Enzo out of 3, alongside the Malaysian Nazim Atzman. Then we go to Louis Foster, who starts alongside that Texan Jack Crawford. Josh Mason out of 7, and then the Australian Christian Mansell. Casper Stevenson, the rookie champion of 2021, a two-time race winner alongside one of 2 Mexicans, Rafa Villagomez. Brad Benavides from Miami, Florida, USA. Philip Cominiaz looking to repeat his podium performance at Monza. Then we go to the second Mexican on debut, Sebastian Alvarez. Francesco Simonazzi for BVM Racing. Enzo Shanti, and the wee Scotsman, that is Dexter Patterson out of grid 16. Ian Salvestrin joining you in commentary, joined up once again by Ida Wood. We have raced, 21 times so far in 2021. 3 races here this weekend. Cameron Dass can claim the championship right here, right now, this afternoon.
Yeah, and if you want to know every single possible mathematical permutation on that, then head over to the Euroformula Open website, go onto the news section, and there's a story listing exactly how this title can be won today or how it can go on to Sunday. And that will save us speculating on the maths throughout this race, thankfully. But with the track temperatures increasing and the air temperatures increasing, particularly down the pit straight, now we're out of shadow, we're actually going to see conditions that aren't truly, what they've been driving on so far this weekend. It's often been cloudy, overcast, it was even damp on Friday. So the drivers are actually going to have a little bit of a new challenge. They should all have a fresh set of tyres on for this race. I think everyone's saved enough tyres to have a fresh set for each of this weekend's races. But as we can see, the point standings, Cameron Dass leading by 63 ahead of Louis Foster. Is essentially a 17-point gap that he can drop. I understand that then, it continues beyond from that. So, but the driver in front, Chambolik Bashi, you can hear the Turkish comment section go wild on YouTube already.
We can just about hear them cheering from Istanbul in Turkey from here in Spain.
Incredibly enthusiastic, and very interestingly for me and for anyone who's interested in particularly iRacing and the Dallara setups and stuff, they had the same setup applied to all 3 of the Van Amersfoort cars. But we saw very different driving styles being applied to it and how that actually ended up in lap time. Chambolik Bashi was on pole, Casper Stevenson down in 9th, and Rafael Villagomez 10th. Quick in different sections of the lap as well. We don't know how that's going to translate into the race, because with these increasing temperatures, the surface temp of these tyres, after 2 or 3 laps, so by the time you get to the final sector of the lap, they're going to be tortured. And it then becomes a point of managing that increase in temperatures and managing the tyre wear, and that's where experience will come into play.
Dexter in car 78 lines up on grid 16. Welcome to the home of the Spanish Formula One Grand Prix. Race 103 this weekend, round 8, the championship final. The green flag at the back of the grid, the 5 red lights. For the first time this weekend, we race Great start from the second row of the grid from Enzo Trulli. Chambolic Bashi launches from pole position. Enzo around the outside as they go 3 wide down into turn 1. Bolik Bashi to the left of your screen. Cameron Das to his left, to your right, slots into second place, the championship leader. Nice start, goes P2, Natsim Atzman, goes wheel to wheel with Enzo Trulli as you ride on board with the Australian Christian Mansell. Hectic start, the opening laps of this, or the opening corners of lap 1. Chambolic Bashi with the lead from Cameron Das. Enzo Trulli, Natsim Atzman, Louis Foster needs to drive as hard as he possibly can. Josh Mason's also made a good start. Here comes Jack. On the attack goes Crawford, the Texan, trying to go past Louis Foster, who has to win this race to keep his championship hopes alive. For the moment, it is Bolik Bashi in P1, Das in second place. A fantastic start by Enzo Trulli. In third is one of 2 Italians in the field. There's Jack going through. Simonazzi's also made a great start. We ride on board once again with Christian Mansell. Right in front of him is one of 4 Americans in the field from Florida, USA. That's Brad Benavides. Around the outside, Josh Mason, Louis Foster. The 2 Brits go wheel to wheel. Now on the opening lap of the race, a clean start, race 1 of 3 in the championship final, Euroformula Open. Chambolic Bashi from pole position leads away for Van Amersfoort Racing. Das and then Trulli in third place.
Nazem Asman in fourth, and on board with Christian Mansell. He is chasing, he's actually dropped spots. He's now down in 10th behind Francesco Simonazzi. There's Chambolic Bashi completing the first lap. Josh Mason behind Louis Foster now. I think Mason went side by side with 4 different drivers on that first lap, was really accelerating through those first 2 corners. 1 minute 41.3 for Bolik Bashi, so around 5 seconds off the qualifying pace right now. Obviously that's the first lap, you're off a standing start. It's going to be slower, but the gaps have already opened up. The important one though is Cameron Das in second, Louis Foster in 5th place. That's 2 seconds at the moment, but 3 positions between them.
Jack all over the back of Josh at the very corner where Nico and Lewis ended up in the gravel, 4 or 5 years ago. Mason holds off Crawford. That's a brilliant start from not only Trulli and Atzman. The young Italian is ahead of the Malaysian, one of 7 race winners in the field. Sebastian Alvarez, a good start for the Mexican on debut in Euroformula Open. He's in position 10 ahead of Simonazzi. Mansell's dropped way back to 12. Caminaz, Rafa Villagomez, and Dexter has got by Enzo Scianti at the end of the opening lap of the race. Mason going through Crawford. He was quickest in practice on Thursday. Quickest again yesterday. He's back in 6th place. Make that 7th, in fact. 6th on the grid. He's lost a place to the fast-starting Louis Foster and Josh Mason. Enzo Trulli going through. That is Natsim Atzman from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia in position 4. Chambolic Bashi, he's been on the podium 5 times in 2021. Once he stood on the top step and he's in P1 here this afternoon. Atzman going through as they complete lap 2, race 1, the championship final of the 2021 Euroformula Open Series. Van Amersfoort Racing down on pit wall. You got a glimpse of Daniela there standing right next to Tom Klaassen, the newly announced team manager for Van Amersfoort Racing's FIA Formula 3 Championship for 2022. As Jack goes down the inside, nicely done, and the Texan goes by and takes Josh Mason. Crawford now back into 6th place.
And at the front, it's an identical pace being set by Bolik Bashi and Cameron Das, a 1 minute 37.643 by both of them last time by. This time, Cameron Das is fastest of anyone through the first sector, so he's closed in an 8/10 gap to Bolik Bashi now in that lead battle. In his current position, he will secure the title in today's race. Louis Foster still in 5th place, 6/10 behind Nazem Asman. Following the front 2, a little bit aggressive over the curb in there was Cameron, but he's got a nice gap to Enzo Trulli, who's leading our rookie classification. Of course, this is Enzo's first year entirely in single-seater racing, so he's doing a very good job to be fighting for podiums in Euroformula. We're looking at, though, our points leader, Cameron Das.
Bolik Bashi, a 1:37.643 last time round. Das, a 1:37.643. Identical times from the drivers running 1 and 2. Once again on board with Mansell, who was quickest in practice session 2 on Thursday, an unofficial test session a moment there for the Australian. Struggles with oversteer as he races down through the chicane. Christian Mansell back in position 11, cuts the corner. He's really struggling with this car. Number 10 in position 11, Christian, not having a good run this afternoon in the opening stages of race 1.
I suspect either the brake bias is a bit out because you're going to set it for lower fuel loads and it's gone a bit wrong now, or the tyres are already overheating in that final sector. 3 wide down the pit straight. That is Francesco Simonazzi on the right against 2 of the Crypto Tower cars. I think that was Mansell and Caminiar's. Mansell's going to, well, he was ahead, but it looks like he's going to lose another spot as they go through turns 1, 2, and then eventually turns 3 as well. So Simonazzi doing a good job, though. He's in 11th place at the moment. This is only his second weekend in Euroformula. They're still battling through into turn 4. Simonazzi's going to be aiming for another points finish after I think he finished 7th or 8th at Monza. Very impressive job. The Van Amersfoort cars are getting involved as well now, so we've got a 5-car battle at the rear of the field. The 2 Drivex cars, Villa Gomez from VAR, Caminiar's from Crypto Tower, and Mansell from Motorpark.
Fabulous racing in the opening stages of race 1 here this afternoon at Barcelona in Spain. Indeed, a fantastic start from Simonazzi. Great to have the BBM Racing team back with us in Euroformula Open as we take a look at a replay of the start. Bologbashi from pole position, truly rocketed off the line from the second row of the grid. Look to the top left of your screen. Truly almost took the lead as 1 car further back in the pack. It may well have been Mansell who stalled off the line. He did spin in qualifying this morning as they go 3 wide down into turn 1. Truly tried to sweep around the outside. He had to contend with the Malaysian Nazim Adsman, just held on to 3rd place. Did the young Italian. Bologbashi leads from Cameron Das, the championship leader, who gets the slipstream down the straight last time, 239 kilometres an hour. About 6 kilometres an hour, well, in fact, not about, exactly 6 kilometres an hour was the advantage of the slipstream into Repsol turn 4 here at Barcelona. Bologbashi withstanding the pressure for the moment after 4 laps of the championship leader from Maryland's USA, looking to become the first ever American driver to win the championship. Of course, Yifei Ye took the title back to the People's Republic of China, winning the 2020 championship for the Crypto Tower racing team. Marino Sato, 4-team Motorpark in 2019. The Brazilian Felipe Drogovic a year prior to that, Harrison Scott, Leonardo Pulcini, Vitor Baptista and Sandy Stubik, the tie back in 2014. There's Fritz to the left of your screen, watching his boy run position 1. As Cameron Das, you can see he locked up the rear. Just holds onto it, nicely controlled by the American. Enzo in P3 has pulled away from Nazim Adsman. Louis Foster in position 5. He won't take the title at this rate. In fact, if it stays this way, even though we're only in the first quarter of the race, Das will win the championship.
But there is, of course, 2 more races to go tomorrow, so that's 2 more chances to win and, you know, add to your victory tally to end the season on a high. We're back on board with Mansell. Let's see him through the final chicane again. He's very timid this time, by, so potentially something wrong with the mechanical setup of the car, potentially. That's what made him a little unstable on the previous laps. Further back, that is Jack Crawford going side by side with Louis Foster, who's going to go down the inside for 5th place. Foster holds his position, holds his line, and that is crucial in their ever-going title battle. I think Foster has pretty much wrapped up 2nd place as a minimum in the standings, because obviously Jack Crawford has missed round, so they're not going to be fighting over a position in the standings at the moment, but Foster really has to keep Crawford behind.
And of course, no racing driver is going to cede a place under normal conditions anyhow. There's Adsman going through. Foster, the American-based British driver, with the Dutch-based American driver behind him. Jack Crawford on the attack is one of 2 Texans in the race. The Red Bull Junior, who has had a stunning 2021. Also racing in the FIA Formula 3 Championship and joining us in the Euroformula Open Championship. He's looking to take 3rd in the championship by the end of this weekend. This is race 1 of 3. This is Enzo Trulli. He started the season by winning the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship. Was going to race in Spanish F4. Of course, his father, Jarno Trulli, went straight from international kart racing, albeit back in the Formula Super A days of 100cc in the 90s, which was a very different kettle of fish to the current karts. He went straight from that to Formula 3, German Formula 3. They were going to race Spanish F4, and following in his father's footsteps, they've gone straight up to F3 Spec Euroformula. And Enzo, he took the podium at Monza. He's in third place here this afternoon. Chembolokbashi leads down into turn 1. Cameron Das has now dropped 9/10 of a second behind the Turk. Enzo still in P3 ahead of Atzman, Foster and Crawford, who is between the two English drivers, Foster P5 and Mason P7.
As you can see, Das was faster than Bolokbashi on lap 3 and lap 4. He's now responded to that pace, and I think it's a case of just being stuck in the dirty air. You know, the vortexes of air being spewed out around the rear wing of Bolokbashi's car. That's going to make it harder for Das to stay there, particularly managing his front tyres as well. So at some point, he's either going to have to really attack and try and make a move, or potentially just, you know, back off a little bit, keep those tyres alive, so later in the race, you can then go on an even stronger attack and try and go for the race win. He said yesterday, as much as he wants to win a title, equally just wants to, you know, add to his win tally this weekend, and doing all 3 would be his main aim. But a great way to end the season. Of course, that's how Yiffy ended it last season, although we had 4 races here in one weekend. That was a particularly busy run of races for the teams. You know, if anyone had any crashes, it was a lot of drama. But Yiffy became champion for Crypto Tower. Marino Sato won Motorpark. So in 3 years, Motorpark or Crypto Tower is on course for either 2 titles in 2 years or 2 titles in 3 years, whichever of those teams wins. So an impressive job there by Timo Rumpfkal's squads.
The German-based team of Timo Rumpfkal, previously racing as high as GP2, a world-class team. They've effectively got 6 cars on the grid here this afternoon, indeed throughout the entire 2021 championship. 3 with Motorpark, of which Jack is driving for, as is Cameron Das, and of course 3 with Crypto Tower Racing, who took the title with the Chinese driver Yi Fei. The gap is now 7/10 of a second. Cameron Das with the fastest first sector last time round. Into turn 4, closes in on the back of Chembolokbashi. There is Enzo Trulli. A superb try from young Enzo. Just 16 years of age in his first year of car racing, and looking at his second podium in F3 Spec Euroformula here this afternoon on a glorious autumn day here in the city that hosted the 1992 Olympic Games. In fact, this very circuit hosted events in the 1992 Olympics in the cycling. Of course, it's home to one of the world's most famous football teams as well. Home to the Spanish Grand Prix ever since 1991, after moving from Jerez down in the south of Spain. There's Trulli in P3, behind him Atzman, Foster and Crawford, who started grid 6, but the Texan has not had the lightning speed that he's displayed throughout much of 2021. He's won 6 times, has Jack, as has Cameron. Louis Foster with 3 victories. We've had 7 different winners. Natsim Atzman with a win, Casper Stevenson with 2 outright. Chem, who leads this race, looking at his 2nd victory, and of course Roman Stanek, who took race 2 at Imola halfway through the series. They race down the straight. We'll check the gap. Was 6/10 of a second, 5/10. He'll get the toe. There's Jack in the background. Foster just ahead, and Mason behind, gets very close down into turn 1. Will he dive down the inside? Cameron Das, a championship leader, not for the moment. As we go further back in the pack, that is Christian Mansell. A big moment. Mansell goes around, sorry, Simonazzi goes around.
And he's got it stopped.
Just kisses the wall.
Barriers, yeah. So the rear end went out as soon as on the gravel. He can't control it, and Mansell did a very good job to essentially get on the brakes and avoid hitting him there. That's going to send Simonazzi all the way to the back. Here's a replay. So the rear end just gets a little loose, and once he's on the gravel, yeah, you can't do anything about that. And Mansell got very, very close.
Disappointing for Simonazzi. He's just kissed the wall. For the moment, it is just a local yellow.
And Simonazzi has got back to the pit lane. We've just seen him come in. It's sideboard damage, it looks like. So nothing too serious, although the car does look a little askew, you could call it. But that means that we've avoided the safety car, which is great. The racing is going to continue. And up front, Chembolokbashi and Cameron Das are closer than ever. 0.37 seconds between these two. Fairly evenly matched in Sector 2. Cameron Das was faster by a 10th of a second in Sector 1. Coming downhill now into the final few corners. Bolokbashi's mirrors are totally full of Cameron Das's car. Now, the last time that happened, I think, was actually at the Hungaroring, where obviously Bolokbashi won and there was a front wing failure. the stand for Cameron, which prevented him from challenging for victory, but then he redeemed himself in the second race with a pretty stunning performance in wet and dry conditions. He's now got the slipstream, so potentially, and Bollet Bassi, you can see, is looking in his mirrors. He's going to pick the inside line. Cameron's going to go even further inside. He's now taking the outside. Is he going to break later, though? No, he's going to tug back in, try and take the wider line for the next two corners, but it's going to be pretty hard to pass with these cars at this speed.
He almost got him then, but Bollet Bassi was awake to the American, to the championship leader, desperate to take his second victory after finishing on the podium in second and third place 5 times throughout 2021. He won on debut in Hungary. And of course, Cameron Dass, there is the confirmation at the bottom of your screen. So we take a look at this. Into the chicane goes the race leader. So close, millimetre perfect, goes the Turk. Cameron Dass right behind. Superb driving from these two. Cameron in second place would take the championship provisionally as we pass. Half race distance now. There's Trulli in the background. There is the points. You know my mathematics is less than 4, but what, 72 points, that would do it. He will win the championship because Louis Foster is stuck down in position 5 as well. Cameron Dass wants to go out on a high here in race 1 of 3. As we pass half race distance, Bollet Bassi driving superbly, also racing in the GT4 European Championship, finishing on the podium in 2021.
Oh, he was here a few weeks ago, actually, in that car, the Team Turkey GT4 car, so he does know the circuit layout now. Obviously, he's raced it in virtual reality many, many times in his successful sim racing career, and he did actually say that the reference points from racing in the sports car are very different to what you're going to have in this Euroformula car, and particularly in qualifying, which is why he was a little bit surprised that he'd taken pole. But Van Amersfoort knew they had a quick car. There's Simonazzi exiting the pits. He's now a lap down, but I think he's going to allow everyone through, so it shouldn't be an issue. He's not going to cause any traffic. Still half a second between our top two cars. They're actually going slower than drivers behind. Louis Foster is the fastest driver on track right now. He's in 5th place, 6.0 seconds behind, and he's chasing Nazem Azman still in 4th. And you can see them coming into frame right now. Foster really needs to get ahead of Cameron Dass to keep this title fight going through to Sunday.
It doesn't look good for Louis as Simonazzi does indeed rejoin, so 16 drivers still in the field. He's 2 laps down, but great to have BVM Racing, the team of Antonio Bertoni, Bruno Vanini, Giuseppe Mazzotti, who formed the team back in 1993. They have had 5 drivers race for them who have all graduated to Formula 1. Domenico Sciattarella, Gaston Mazzacane, Marc Genet, Nicolas Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi all race for BVM Racing. Simonazzi in his second drive with the team. A new front wing goes on car 84 and he's back out on track, albeit 2 laps down. As you look at car 27, Louis Foster, the American-based British driver who's second in the championship. And at the moment, he's 5th on the road. There's Nazem Azman going through. In position 4, they accelerate out of turn 16. Down the start-finish straight, there is Enzo. He's starting to be caught by the Malaysian Nazem Azman, who took a fantastic victory at the Red Bull Ring after the summer break. A couple of victories in the GB3 series, let's just call it the former Formula 3 series of Great Britain. Has come over and raced with us in Euroformula Open. He's running P4 at the moment, 1 step off the podium. Bollet Bassi, the gap still 0.5 of a second as Cameron Dass with the fastest middle sector of the entire race. Enzo Trulli, this is the battle though for the final step of the podium. He is exactly 1 step ahead of the Malaysian. He'll be praying that Louis Foster catches up and starts to hassle Nazem. Take a look at this. There's Christian Mansell on the outside, and he's just been passed by Sebastian Alvarez. Nicely done by the Mexican, who moves up to position 10. I have to make an apology. Just while we're looking at Christian Mansell, it was he who spun in qualifying this morning, not Philippe Caminiaz, who I incorrectly nominated. Christian Mansell just struggling with the back end of that car. He's dropped down to P11. Ahead of Caminiaz, Rafa Villagomez, Dexter Patterson, Enzo Scianti, 14 Drivex, and Simonazzi 2 laps down the final runner as Nazem Azman dives down into the chicane. P4, 1 second behind Enzo Trulli. As Josh Mason now sets the fastest first sector of the entire race. We've raced 2/3 of race 1, the final round of the 2021 championship. Jack on the attack, trying to chase down Foster. Chembolik absolutely determined to take his second victory of 2021. Truly going through. Atzman in P4 ahead of Foster, who is seeing his championship disappear right before his very eyes here this afternoon in Spain.
Yeah, not much seems to have been done so far because our top 7 drivers are actually in the same positions they started this race. So the additional points Foster really needs for most positions gained, which is 2 extra points in this race. You get an extra point for fastest lap as well. None of them are going to him at the moment. However, I think it's Brad Benavides who's gone from 11th to 8th and Sebastian Alvarez 13th to 10th. They're provisionally going to get those additional 2 points, or I imagine it'll be the higher place to those 2 for most positions gains. And fastest lap is currently with Cameron Dass, who is of course the points leader. So that's only going to strengthen his hold on the points lead, and therefore the likeliness that he will wrap up the title in this race.
You just mentioned Brad Benavides. He's up into 8th place. It's been a good performance from him in race 1 this afternoon. Actually made his debut in car racing, full stop, in the final round of the 2018 Euroformula Open Championship. Brad Benavides in the second Carlin racing car. He's 8th, his teammate Enzo is in P3. This is Louis Foster flying the flag of LSU, the Lions from Los Angeles, watching their, I don't know the correct terminology in American slang, I haven't watched enough American Hollywood movies. What do they call it? Their alumni, their classmate, their college mate. Louis Foster, the American-based Brit from Loyola University in Los Angeles. He's in P5, flying the flag for LSU, but it looks as though he will miss out on the title this afternoon. Jack Crawford hasn't been the best run for him this afternoon. Had shown blistering pace ever since he made his debut in race 3 of the opening round of the 2021 championship. The day he turned 16 was the day of the Portuguese Grand Prix held at Portimão in Portugal, incidentally, where we get underway on the first day of May in 2022. The championship, the calendar has been announced for next season. We get underway in Portimão. New teams, new drivers on the way. The 2022 Euroformula Open Championship will be absolutely spectacular. This is race 1, round 8, the final round of the 2021 championship. And the driver on your screen, Chembolik, looks as though he will win for the second time this afternoon. Cameron Dass, though, is looking to become the first driver from the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, the North Atlantic, I should say, the first driver from the USA to win the Euroformula Open Championship. Accelerates down through the chicane, out of turn 16, too far back to get the slipstream from Chembolik. 0.6 of a second. There is Enzo in P3, the 16-year-old Italian driving superbly. After launching off the line, there is Foster in P5. Dass closer to the back of Bolokbashi with the aid of the slipstream. Truly going through. Atzman, Foster. We go back to Crawford, the Red Bull Junior, in P6, car 52 for Team Moto Park. And then Josh Mason, Brad Benavides, Casper Stevenson, and on debut in Euroformula, Sebastian Alvarez rounds out the 10.
Yeah, as I said earlier, we haven't had any overtaking in these top places. Cameron Dass is the closest to Chembolik, and actually these two pretty much throughout the race have been the fastest 2 drivers. Jack Crawford did set a 1:37 2 laps ago, but everyone else did the 1:38. The fastest lap from race 1 or race 2 will set the grid for race 3. So these drivers right now might be thinking further ahead to the end of Sunday, going, I want to be starting at the front for the final race of the season. I want my shot at victory there. And here's a replay of Sebastian Alvarez getting alongside one of the Crypto Tower cars.
Christian Mansell down the inside, just looking at our timing screen, and Christian Mansell has just clocked through the speed trap 243.7 k's an hour. Alvarez was 234 k's an hour. He was 10 kilometers an hour faster in a straight line. He got the slipstream, went down the inside, and the Australian car 10 goes position 10 and takes the place back. Nicely done by Christian Mansell. There is Alvarez, who slips back to 11th. Ahead of Philip Caminias, who has not yet this weekend repeated the form which he displayed at Monza when he stood on the podium in atrocious conditions. Here is Mansell down through the chicane. The 16-year-old from north of Sydney in Australia. Fastest in practice too. In practice on Thursday, unofficial practice that was. But has just lost something, the back end of the car stepping out continually as we go back to the fight for the front, the dying stages of race one. Cameron Dass does not need to win the race to win the 2021 championship. Chambolic Bashi absolutely determined to take his second victory of 2021. Started the season racing in the Asian Formula 3 Championship over in the United Arab Emirates, was instantly competitive there. Also combining racing Euroformula in a very different car, the GT4 car, that knows Barcelona well and is determined to hang on. Cameron Dass may well back out towards the dying stages of the race in order to claim the championship.
And both of these drivers are targeting, obviously, a step up from Euroformula for 2022. The word on the street is they'll be headed to Formula 2, which is a step just below Formula 1. Great to see Euroformula champions go there. Marino Sato did, Felipe Drugovich did. Yiffy didn't quite, but he went off and dominated the European Le Mans Series instead, and he's actually at Algarve today with Louis Delatraz and Robert Kubica, his teammates, qualifying for the I think it's a 6-hour race there, or the 4-hour race. So Euroformula graduates do go to great places with their careers. We've now got 2 laps to go. 0.6 of a second still between Bollock Bassi and Cameron Dass. The gap between Trulli and Asman, 3rd and 4th place. That's also closed up by 1/10 of a second, but still just over a second between them. And Louis Foster, a further second back in 5th place.
Not forgetting New Zealand's Liam Lawson, who is about to test for Red Bull Racing in the Abu Dhabi Formula 1 Young Driver Test in, just about a month's time or just over. As Dass runs off the track in the background. That gives Bollock Bassi just a little bit of breathing space. Yes, Liam Lawson finished 2nd in 2019 to Marino Sato, and is about to test for the Red Bull Formula 1 team, coming from the Euroformula Open Championship and racing in Formula 2, of course, in 2021.
And of course, his teammate was none other than Yuki Tsunoda, who's racing at the United States Grand Prix this weekend. And the driver who stepped in for the weekend Yuki couldn't do, which should never be forgotten, was Toshiki Oyu. Dominated the Silverstone weekend. He's now one of the top stars in Japan. And Dennis Hauger, who's just won the FIA Formula 3 title, he's headed to Formula 2 as well. So a really good career pipeline is Euroformula. And this Dallara 320 car, brilliant car. In 2 years' time, we're going to be moving on to bigger wheels, 17-inch wheel rims, I think, rather than the actual size of the tyres. That's going to change the handling a little bit. It's going to potentially add a little bit of weight, but it's going to make it more relevant to the future of Formula 1. And that's essentially what these drivers want. They want something that's as close to the package. They are going to race at the pinnacle of motorsport when they get there. Bollock Bassi comes across to start the final lap of the race. He's got 7/10 in hand.
The dying stages of race one, Cameron Dass is just a lap away from winning the 2021 Euroformula Open Championship. This is the last lap for Chambolic Bassi to take his 2nd victory of the series. The gap out to 9/10 of a second. Cameron Dass has surely got off the gas and will coast to 2nd place. That will do it. Louis Foster, 2nd in the series, but 5th on the road behind Nazi Martzman. Enzo Trulli, the top rookie here this afternoon, and looking at another podium outright. Bollock Bassi has driven absolutely superbly for the Van Amersfoort racing team. 3 cars here again this weekend. Fritz van Amersfoort himself. We got a glimpse of the legendary Dutch team owner. He's probably the biggest fan in the paddock of this magnificent Dallara car as Chambolic Bassi slides sideways on the exit. Throwing car 74 around. Hold on to it, Chem. Don't throw it away now. Cameron Dass picks up a couple of 10ths of a second. There's Enzo in the background, who's being caught by Nazi Martzman. Down into turn 10, the newly reprofiled corner at this famous Spanish circuit for the final time. Climbs the hill, turns 12, 13, and the chicane 14 and 15. Chambolic Bassi, he won on debut at the Hungaroring in Budapest. At the halfway point of the season, he rounds the final corner. The checkered flag is about to wave. Chembolokbashi wins again for the second time in 2021. Cameron Dass crosses the line, and we believe that is enough for the American to win the 2021 Euroformula Open Championship. Enzo on the podium in third place, just holds off the Malaysian Nazi marksman Louis Foster, P5. It was not enough. There's Mansell, who crosses the line now from Sebastian Alvarez. The Mexican on debut, Philip Caminillas. Rafa Villagomez. Dexter was ahead of Enzo, the Scotsman, the debutant in the series. But Chembolokbashi takes the win. He wanted that so badly, and he's done it. Cameron Dass finishes just on 1 second behind. Cameron Dass, we are just being told from race control, has officially won the 2021 championship for Team Motopark as well. Timo Rumkale smiles down in pit lane. He can afford to. P2 was enough here today. There is the American. He is the champion of the Euroformula Open Championship for 2021. He has won 6 times in the 2021 season. Of course, we've still got 2 races to go tomorrow, but he cannot be beaten for the title. Commiserations to Louis Foster. He's won 3 times in 2021. Comes home P5 today. It was not quite enough. Car 28, position 1 in the series, position 2 in the race here this afternoon. Chembolokbashi takes the race victory, and Cameron Dass, stand and applaud wherever you are watching all around the world. Cameron Dass has won the spectacular Open World Championship that we simply know as Euroformula Open. Team Motopark have also won the title again after Marino Sato won it for them in 2019. Chembolokbashi, we can hear you applauding all the way from Istanbul. So many supporters has Chem got back in his home nation. Thoroughly deserved this. He made a brilliant debut in Budapest to win race 1, his first race in Euroformula Open, and he's finally done it once again in the third last race of 2021. Stood on the podium, well, the second and third steps 5 times so far, and for the second time in 2021 will stand on the top step. But the driver on your screen from the USA, Cameron Dass, is the champion of Euroformula Open for 2021.
Yes, mate. Great job, mate. Great job. Well done.
Rodney Singh, General Manager of Pan Horse Racing, a big smile on Rob's face. Congratulates his boy, who finally wins again for the second time
You look pretty good. All right.
in 2021.
That was nicely controlled. Beautiful. Beautiful.
No, he gets the name. Harry. You need to take your weight, I think.
Great sportsmanship to see Louis congratulate Cam. He is the champion and cannot be beaten. There's Enzo, there's Jack, the 2 Americans embrace. Enzo, another podium for the 16-year-old Italian. We'll just try and get a word with the race winner first of all, Chembolokbashi, in just a moment. There's Enzo, good drive from Truly. He'll be back, of course, tomorrow. Race 2 to get underway at 10 minutes to 10 local time as we take a look at the results of race 1. Chembolokbashi wins it by just under a second from Cameron Dass. And Enzo Trulli for Carlin Racing. He's the top rookie as well, finishes third. Atzman, Foster, Crawford, Mason, Benavides, good drive from Brad to P8, ahead of Casper, P9, and Christian Mansell, car 10, position 10, ahead of Sebastian Alvarez. Mansell and Alvarez had a great drive with Mansell throughout the race. Caminiaz, Villagomez, and Patterson, Shanti, and Simonazzi. Here is the Drivers' Championship. Cameron Dass, 354 points, has won the Euroformula Open Championship. We'll try and get a word, first of all, with the race winner, Chembolok Bashi, and in just a moment, also with the newly crowned champion, Cameron Dass. Let's go down to pit lane and have a word with our two-time race winner, Chembolok Bashi. Third place, Enzo Trulli. Another podium for the Italian. Cameron Dass, second place here this afternoon, is enough to win the title. Chembolok Bashi has won for the second time in 2021. Car 74 for Van Amersfoort Racing. Let's go down and hear from the race winner. First of all, Chembolok Bashi, and then Cameron Dass.
Chem, great victory.
Thank you very much.
Smooth race.
Yeah, I felt good, pole to victory, obviously just like how I planned and how I wanted to go. No mistakes, no major mistakes, just kept Cam behind. Pace felt good. I mean, I went faster when he upped the speed a bit, so I adjusted my pace according to his, but felt really good. Obviously another victory, second in the series now this year. Yeah, feels good, definitely.
Yeah, just half a season basically in the Euroformula, but an impressive show.
Thank you very much, I'll try my best.
All the best,
Thank
enjoy.
you.
And
Chembolok
clearly
Bashi.
we have also with us
And now Cameron Dass.
the new champion, the new Euroformula champion, Cameron Dass, relieved.
Yeah, relieved is an understatement, I'd say. During that whole race, or sorry, the last 5 laps, I had to start backing off because I had a temperature warning on the dash and the gearbox started going a little slow. So I was just like, I need to finish this race, and luckily we did. But, you know, huge thank you to Motopark for absolutely rapid car all year. I mean, everyone's just been such a help in developing me as a driver, and I've had some great partners like System X to make this all possible. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier.
It was, of course, a long season. It started very well in Portugal, where you... what was the mood throughout the season?
Sorry, what was that?
What was the mood? You thought you would make it?
I had a hunch that I'd make it, but I mean, I treated every race, you know, in the moment. So I was going for the best possible result every single race, and then we'd see where we'd end up at the end of the year. And luckily, that ended up being on the top step. So super happy.
Well done, and we've seen a lot of family and friends, so big party tonight.
Yes, definitely.
Well deserved. All the best.
Race 1, the final round of the Euroformula Open Championship here in Spain. Chembolok Bashi from pole position launched off the line. Cameron Dass and Enzo Trulli tried to go with the Turk. Enzo around the outside tried to take the lead, but was lucky to hold on to P3 because Nazi Matzman was shooting down the inside of the Italian. Trulli closed the door nicely to hold on to position 3. Chembolok Bashi just drove brilliantly throughout the entire race. Jack Crawford tried to make his way up, initially going by Josh Mason, but the second Texan in the field, that's as far as he would go, finishing in position 6. Francesco Simonazzi almost bringing out the safety car, just kissing the wall. But the Italian did nicely to hold on to it. A brilliant battle between Sebastian Alvarez and Christian Mansell, who went wheel to wheel. In the end, it was the Australian in car 10 who finished in position 10. Chembolok Bashi drove brilliantly and takes his second victory of the 2021 championship. Second here this afternoon was enough for the American to win the title, the first driver from the USA to win the Euroformula Open Championship. Van Amersfoort Racing with the race win. Motopark with the title. Carlin Racing on the podium again. thanks to their 16-year-old Italian talent, Enzo Trulli, in third place in race 1 here this afternoon. The newly crowned champion, Cameron Dass, from the United States of America. Second place on the podium, but he is the new champion. And Cem Bologbashi, his second win of 2021. Van Amersfoort Racing, Motopark and Cullen Racing split the podium in race 1 of 3 here this afternoon. Bologbashi, a very deserving race winner, and Cameron Dass, a super deserving 2021 champion. Well, the championship chase may be over, but we've still got 2 more races here this weekend at the home of the Spanish F1 Grand Prix. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 minutes to 10, local time for race 2. And of course, race 3 tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock here in Spain, the final race of what has been a spectacular 2021 championship. Bologbashi takes the race 1 victory. Cameron Dass, all the way from the USA, is the 2021 champion. Thanks for your company. We'll see you back here at Barcelona in Spain tomorrow morning for race 2.